Right. For the next set of questions for this particular chapter, we have to look at actual images of cells or the organelles taken using a light microscope or electron microscope. So let's dive right into it. The first question over here is, the image shown is produced using a microscope. How many statements about this image are correct? Now, the first thing we have to understand here is this particular organelle over here is a chloroplast because it has the outer and inner membrane. Even though it's quite difficult to see the outer and inner membrane, it's okay because the distinct features of a chloroplast are those things that I'm drawing right now. Those are the granum, okay, and that's where the process light independent reaction happens. That's more in A2, yeah, but you do need to know that those things are referred to as granum. At least just know the name of the structure for AS. Now, the granum is only visible using the electron micrograph. So the first bullet point, it is an electron micrograph, is correct. Second one, it shows part of a eukaryotic cell. That is correct because chloroplasts can be found in plant cells and algae, which are eukaryotes. This is not a mitochondrion. This is a chloroplast, so the third statement is wrong. And it shows a specimen viewed at more than 400 magnification. That is correct, because light microscope, the magnification can go up to at least 1000, but this one over here is definitely more than 400, because to give you a bit of context, if you were to view something at 400 magnification, this is what you'd see in a plant cell. You'd see the entire plant cell, and the chloroplast would just be a single green dot. Of course, you can't see the green dot here, but no, don't worry, you're not colorblind. I just changed the color to red because it's clearer to see. So that red dot would be the size of a chloroplast viewed at 400 magnification. So the image that you are looking at over here, however, the one in the question, is definitely more than 400. Okay, so the answer is C. There are 3 statements which are correct. Second one here, the electron micrograph shows a section through a cell. What would be present in this type of cell? Immediately we know that this is a plant cell. The reason why I know that this is probably a plant cell is because number one, you have that empty sort of space, empty looking space over there where I'm coloring it in blue. That is the large permanent vacuole. So you know that animal cells do not have large permanent vacuoles, so this is more on the plant cell side of things. And then of course the yellow color part where I'm highlighting, it's quite difficult to distinguish that, yeah, but the yellow color area is the nucleus. That's the distinct appearance of a nucleus. And those green color areas, I know it's a bit difficult to see, but those green color things are chloroplasts. So that's how we know that this is probably a plant cell. So what would be present in this type of cell? First one, plant cells are made out of cellulose cell wall, not peptidoglycan cell wall. So any answers that says peptidoglycan cell wall is present is wrong. So A and C are out. Now, plant cells, the next one over here is, do they have histone proteins? Yes, the DNA has histone proteins. The DNA are associated or looped with histone proteins in the nucleus. So the answer is correct. B and D are still accepted. And of course, plant cells do have mitochondria. Mitochondria because they are eukaryotic cells. So the answer is B for this one. Now, the next question here. The photomicrograph shows part of a cell. Which row is correct? Now, I'm going to highlight that blue color area. Those blue color areas, you can kind of see those long black lines with dots on the surface. Those are distinct appearance. That's how the rough endoplasmic reticulum looks like under the electron microscope. Now, the one at the top, it might be the nucleus. It's hard to identify, but I'm just going to highlight and let you know that that's the nucleus. But more importantly, the purple, pink highlight that I'm putting over there, something magenta, whatever color that is, that one is going to be the mitochondrion, because you have the distinct appearance. The key feature here is the cristae, okay, that is cristae, which is visible. So that's the mitochondrion right there. Now, which row is correct? This cell will contain 70S ribosomes, definitely, because mitochondrion have 70S ribosomes, has 70S ribosomes. This could be a part of the plant cell. Yes, it could be, because plant cells can have RER, they can have nucleus, they can have mitochondria. The organelles shown could be used to make antibodies. Antibodies are proteins, technically, glycoproteins to be exact. But yes, you can use these organelles to make the antibodies, because the nucleus contains the genes that will undergo transcription to produce the mRNA. The mRNA will go to the rough endoplasmic reticulum to undergo translation, and this process requires ATP, which is supplied by the mitochondrion. So the answer is yes. So the answer is A, all are correct. So let's look at the next one, the next question here. A cell is shown in the micrograph. Now, we don't know whether it's a photomicrograph taken using a light microscope or an electron micrograph using an electron microscope. But based on the question, immediately you have an idea that this is probably taken using... Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's look at the question. Which statement explains how it is possible to identify the type of microscope used to produce the micrograph? The first thing is, you can see the nuclear envelope, which is a double membrane. You can also see rough endoplasmic reticulum, those flattened cisternae, and the dots on the surface, which are the ribosomes. So immediately you know that this is the electron microscope, because, as mentioned, RER are not visible under light microscope. They are only visible under electron microscopes. B and C are out because they are saying it's using a light microscope. Now the question is, A, the nucleus is visible, so an electron microscope is used, or D, ribosomes are visible, so an electron microscope was used. Both answers are technically correct. The nucleus is visible and the ribosomes are visible in this case. However, nucleus is also visible under light microscope. So even though it's visible under the light microscope, it's just not as detailed. So the better answer in this case is going to be D, because ribosomes are visible under electron microscope, because that is correct, because ribosomes are only visible under the electron microscope. The next question here, the image is an electron micrograph of a typical eukaryotic cell. What can be concluded about the eukaryotic cell from the electron micrograph? Well, the first thing is, do we see any empty looking space inside there like the previous question? No, we don't. So there's no large permanent vacuole. So B is wrong. It's technically an animal cell, that is correct, but animal cells do not have permanent vacuole. So that statement does not make sense there. Number 2, it is a plant cell because it contains many chloroplasts. Where? I don't see any chloroplasts. Any oval-looking shapes with those granules inside? No, I don't see them. It is a plant cell because it contains many lysosomes. Plant cells usually do not have lysosomes, okay? They usually have a large permanent vacuole that acts as a lysosome, but not in this case. So therefore, the answer is A. It is an animal cell because it does not have a cell wall. Next question here, the electron micrograph shows a structure found in the cytoplasm of an animal cell. When you look at this structure, you must immediately identify those 9 triplet microtubules, okay? What does it mean by 9 triplet microtubules? Microtubules are just small tube-like protein structures. Triplet just means 3 of those microtubules are joined together. That's one triplet microtubule, but there are 9 of them that congregate together to form a centriole. Centriole is that cylindrical structure, and I'm just going to show you a picture of that. That's just one centriole. I hope you can see. So the image is showing the cross-section of a centriole, and this image over here is like a 3D rendering or image of how a centriole is supposed to look like, right? So it's like a cylindrical shape. And of course, centrioles are definitely made out of only proteins here because they are microtubules. Microtubules are protein filaments, so they only contain proteins. They don't have phospholipids because they are not membrane-bound organelles. So the answer is D for this one. Next one here, the electron micrograph shows some cells from a root, so therefore it's a plant cell, okay, plant cells here present. Which cell structure is not usually found in cells from a root? Let's highlight them. So I'm highlighting that in yellow over there, where A is pointing to the fried egg. So A and D are part of the fried egg. No, not fried egg. A is just A and D are part of the nucleus, where A is the nucleolus and D is the nuclear membrane. Okay, so it's pointing to the membrane right there. So A is the nucleolus, B is the nuclear membrane. Now, next one, C is the cell wall. It's not a cell surface membrane. The reason why is because it's quite thick. Okay, it's quite very distinct thick thick black line over there, very clearly seen. Cell membranes can be quite difficult to see even under electron microscope, yeah? So it has a thick border. B are the oval-shaped chloroplasts, okay? Now, which cell structure is not usually found in cells from a root? Plant cells in the roots do not usually have chloroplasts, by the way, because they are not so exposed to sunlight. But this particular cells from the roots have chloroplasts, so they're quite atypical. That is why the answer is B in this case. And moving on to the next question. The photomicrograph shows part of a plant cell. Okay, we know this is a plant cell even without them telling us, because number one, it has that empty looking space there, which is the large permanent vacuole. That yellow color area which I'm highlighting is probably that is the nucleus, and that small black circular thing is the nucleolus, right? So yeah, next one here, those oval things, that one looks quite odd, but those oval shaped things there are the chloroplasts. Now, they're asking you what's the magnification of the cell. We can't do this question, but in the exam, what you just have to do is use your ruler, measure the scale that you can see, the 5 micrometer. And if you get whatever measurement you get on your ruler, divide that by 5 micrometer and you'll get your answer. Okay, so hope you understand that one. And let's see the next one. The last question over here is the electron micrograph shows part of an animal cell. And in this animal cell over here, let's highlight some of the important parts. The first most important area I'm highlighting is in yellow. That is definitely the nucleus. All right. And if you actually zoom in, you can actually see the double membrane. Yeah. And what will be synthesized in large quantities in this cell? Now, glucose is synthesized by chloroplasts. This is an animal cell, okay? We are technically animals. So we do not have chloroplasts. We cannot synthesize glucose through photosynthesis. We can make glucose in a different way. It does exist. In chapter 14, we learned a process known as gluconeogenesis. In that case, glucose is made by converting amino acids and fatty acids back into glucose. But in this case, they are saying synthesized. In this case, when they say synthesized glucose, they are saying through photosynthesis. So we cannot undergo photosynthesis. So any answers with number 2 is wrong, okay? Because we do not have chloroplasts. So B and C are left, and number 1 is accepted as an answer. ATP can be synthesized because this cell has mitochondria, which I am going to highlight in a kind of pinkish color, purple color, yeah, whatever color that is. Purple, that is purple. Magenta, I think, yeah, whatever. Okay, I always get bullied in the comment section when it comes to colors. Anyway, coming back over here, number 3, okay, RNAs. Can this cell make a lot of RNAs? Definitely, because the cell has a nucleus, okay? So they have genes that can undergo transcription to make mRNAs. Or rRNAs, because they have a nucleolus, which can synthesize the ribosomal RNAs, which will then be used to make the ribosomes. So I hope you understand these questions, and I will see you in the next one.